Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Netters Network Thursday Things. I'm not sure if I should be concerned or not. When I started the stream, I hit go live. I had 14 people. Now I have 9. It's like, how did I offend people within just my opening? It's like, well, I hope they all come back. At any rate, good evening, everyone, and thank you for showing up here tonight. I do appreciate you being here. Oh, now 8, really? It's like, okay, being funny, guys. Let me introduce to you my co-host. You know him as the guy at the end.
Yes, they know me as da.
Yes, it's been a long week. Can you tell? So that guy at the end of the bar, the love of my life, Troy Pacelli. How you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
I am doing well, thank you very much. And I am double fisting Dr. Peppers because, you thought ahead and you gave me an extra can because you knew I'll be finishing this other one off pretty soon.
Oh, I thought the other one was almost empty. That's why I gave you a new can.
It's getting there.
And of course, right now I have my Meyer brand sparkling water berry flavor. And I only got one more can until I'm all out. Sniff, sniff. Yeah, this tastes good. Not only does it taste good, it's cheap. So I like it. Tim said, "Did Netter become a man? She's now speaking through Troy's avatar."
We share a mic. We're in the same room.
Yeah, it's like, sweetie, I've been sharing his mic. It's like, as long as we've been both doing channels, we've been sharing a mic. So it's been, how long? So, yes, we share a mic. That's why mine says I'm on mute. And it's funny how many times people will go, you're on mute. It's like, you can hear me though, right? So no. So yeah, we got fun stuff going on. Okay, let me actually say hello that I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top. First in today is Lady Myst at 5:53 p.m. I suppose technically I was first in because I pinned our guest's YouTube channel to the top of my chat. And I did it right after I created the stream at like midnight. So hello to my lovely Lady Myst, Blue Wrench Extraordinaire. She's dropping all the links there. And then we have FKHC 2005, also known as Tim, saying hello. JPRPH1. Hello, Lady Myst, sometimes known as Tim. Oh, and sometimes known as Tim.
Right.
That's his new name, at sometimes known as Tim.
Yes.
We have Big Al Presents saying hello early because
he's falling asleep. Yeah.
Have a groovy show.
Right.
I think I just like saying that. Groovy movies. We have Connie Cleary saying hello to the chat. And Tim says he's now subbed to Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies.
Thank you.
That's why we got that pinned to the top of the chat. Deleted Sins coming in and giving his salute. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube. You can catch her other channel, Fluff Trick Productions. I'm trying to scan comments too as I'm scrolling through. So if I missed something you really want me to see, let me know. Deleted says he'll have to step away for a moment, but he'll be right back. Then there's this Netters person coming in here and flirting with this last call guy. Okay, 1 minute. Sorry, my chat just jumped. Give me a second.
Looks like Nate just got here.
And there's that last call guy flirting back with Netter.
Get a room, you two.
Yeah, that crazy couple. Let's see. Just making sure I'm not missing anybody. Say hello to all those peoples already. Y'all talking amongst yourselves, which is wonderful. Okay. Last call of Torpicelli. I was basically thinking what Netter might like, since Life of Brian, a mania of life
Yeah,
may have parts you may not like. I've seen them both.
We were talking, and I was just saying that for the most part, you're way more tolerant than I think most people realize. There's really only the one thing that you don't care for, and the fact is that's going to be in movies sometimes. There's nothing you can do about it. The thing is, when you're live with us, you have the ability to decide what you do and don't say.
Exactly. Okay. Whoop. Go back to my channel. Geek Flag with Nate says hello. A little double entendre.
Oh, sharing a mic. she's the only girl that can share a mic with me.
Or that I'm calling you that last call guy.
Oh, that could be too. That could be too.
Yes, you're my call guy.
I'm her last call guy. Yeah.
You're my only call guy.
Right.
Mark Malinikoff saying hello. Now I got to go back to my YouTube and give an official hi, sweetie there.
Wow, a bunch just dropped in because there's Mark, there's Jesse Guajardo, there's The View with Drew.
Okay, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Okay, Jesse Guajardo. And as I'm calling up the new people in StreamYard, I'm also trying to do my hello sweeties in YouTube because that's my thing.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do.
Drew? Yes, it's my thing. Okay, let's see. Scrolling. Everybody saying hi to everybody. Oh, and I finally managed to make it to the bottom. Cool. Okay. Well, if I somehow missed you, please let me know because I never like to miss my sweeties.
Yep.
Because you guys are the reason I'm here. As I say at the end of every stream, I love seeing you guys in each of our streams. And every time I see each of you here, it just makes me smile because my family's here. I love seeing you guys. Right now, I have 15 people watching. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up. That little interaction does help with the algorithms and helps my channel. And before I bring him in, pinned to the top of the chat is the link to our special guest channel. If you wouldn't mind just giving that, right-clicking on there, opening up a new tab, and giving a sub over there. You know, the subs cost you nothing, but they're immeasurable for what it does for our guests and for ourselves, as far as, you know, YouTube with growing our audience, growing our brand, helping us become monetized. I'm like 700 away from being monetized as far as watch hours. So those of you who've been watching extra, thank you because you pushed me up a little bit more. So yeah, that is immeasurable to us as far as helping our channels to grow. So thank you so very much for just popping over, giving that sub. Like I said, it costs you nothing, but it means so much. So thank you for that. And without further ado, let me introduce our guest for tonight, Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies. How you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
Oh, me, I'm a straight water fan. It's the heat. I just believe in keeping hydrated. So.
Oh yeah. What's the temperature where you're at?
Well, it's actually cooled down. We've had rain a couple of days here in Dallas, so it was like 80. I actually had to turn the AC down. So
yeah, it was 85 today, and I had the windows open for a while, but then near the end of my workday, I just noticed it was starting to feel a little stifling. So I closed all the windows, put on the air. So it's like, yeah, I got that on now. But yeah, Geek Plug and I already answered the question, but yeah, my watch hours, I need 700 more. So if any point during your day you want to just click on like any of the things, I think you can still hit play all and just let it run in the background. That would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, but how long will that last though? I mean,
well, you need to make sure that your watch hours are always 3,000, like all the time or more. So it's like, so every month you have to make sure that some haven't dropped off so you get below the 3,000. So right now, I said I need 700 more to make 3,000.
Although PJ has said that if you drop below, it's usually not a problem. It's happened to him before. It is tough, but if you get into a regular routine, and I've seen this on my channel, you and I are similar in that we both are primarily live streamers. So you have the same, like I have a 2 hour plus, last call. I have the 4+ hours double features on Monday nights. Now I'm going to be adding another stream, a Blake 7 rewatch on Tuesday evenings, simulcasting with deleted scenes on Tuesdays and occasional Sundays.
So wait, let's add that up. This is what you're doing for these. Starting Monday, you have a minimum of 4 hours.
Right.
So that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
On Tuesday with deleted scenes, that's at least another hour to 2 hours. So let's say that's 6. Let's just run it up to 2 hours. So that's
make it 7 with Blake 7.
Okay.
When that
Blake
starts.
7, so that's gonna be that. Then you're on this stream, which usually goes for a
I don't get watch time.
Oh, that's right. You don't. Not yet. Okay. Sorry,
Last
honey.
call, let's call that 2 hours, even though it usually goes over.
And then let's see, Saturday, neither me or Al is monetized, so you don't get that yet. And then for Geeky Geezers, I'm
gonna start this week simulcasting with Boomer, so that's gonna be another 2 hours.
Okay, so we're looking at 11 hours a week.
11 hours minimum. A week times however many people stick with me that whole time. So yeah. That's pretty good.
Adds up.
Every time I've added a new live stream, you see the bump, the average weekly bump in watch time. But as PJ also keeps getting on me about, I got to start getting other standalone videos out. It's just, yeah, I know, but when you're also working a full-time job, that's not an easy thing to do. Although I do have to say, I super appreciate my my producers. I just see. One just dropped in here, the Clue Channel. Welcome, my friend. And of course, Deleted Scenes and Curtis Selby and all you other wonderful members that when we say you keep the lights on, it really does. It is. Yeah. It is the impetus for us to continue.
And John said he's been double speaking through the night until the Amazon app stops for whatever reason. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. It will do that. I've noticed. I've fallen asleep and and it'll stream movie after movie or whatever, and then about 4 o'clock in the morning it's like, are you still watching this?
Yeah. JPRPH1 just said the upcoming streams seem to stop a play all. It's like, are you still watching?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know it goes for a couple hours because like I'll put on music videos because I have my playlist, and so I'll put those on like at the beginning of my workday and just listen to music all day. And then like after a couple hours, it's like, are you still listening? It's like, yeah. It's like,
I have a habit of doing that with some political programs I follow. I'll just mostly Tim Pool and a couple other pundits that I've kind of grown to like. And it'll do that. It'll just stop midway when
Yeah. Geek Flex says, I have a joke for you. How do you fix a broken vacuum? You slap a Dallas Cowboys sticker on it, then it will suck.
Oh God. That's funny.
Yeah, it's like Curtis Selby also says he noticed that too, that he'll get through one vid and then it stops. It's so exasperating. It's like, does YouTube not want people to watch?
I know.
Who Channel says I'm sorry, Julia said I'm stuck at $22.99. Is that your watch hours deleted? Or is that subs?
$22.99. That's gotta be subs.
Yeah, it's gotta be subs.
If that's hours, I mean he should be.
Yeah, because I know delete is monetized.
Yeah.
Jesse says I'm seeing new channels. Woo!
So, Blake 7, huh?
Yeah. I'm starting that probably not this Monday, or excuse me, not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
Oh, okay. I love that show. Hated the final episode, but great
Yeah. I didn't
British
love either.
sci-fi. And that's one thing me and my co-host for when I do my Saturday watch parties, Yvette, she's British. So, and like she's one of the ultimate old school Doctor Who fans. So am I. We hate we detest the new stuff. Ever since they brought that chick in, Doctor Who has been dead. We both agree on that.
We call her Dr. Her.
Yeah. So, but
it's like, and
at this point, it's more like Dr. Y now.
Yeah, but it's like I was willing to give her a chance, and it's like, okay, it's different, but then it got all weird and woke, and they had agendas. I'm like, nope, I'm done. Yeah. Especially when they totally erased the whole entire history of Doctor Who. It's like, are you shooting me?
I had left before they did that, but I mean, I saw all the Brits, I mean, an entire nation on suicide watch when they did that. So, and I said after I started seeing that, I knew I had made the right decision to leave it alone when I did. I mean, I just kind of lost. I really, with the female doctor, I lost interest with the. It was like the second or third episode with they just went back into history. I can't even, the Montgomery bus. I can't remember her name. All of a sudden, the bus boycott in Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the woman's name, but
that's fine. I have a hard time with actors' names.
You see her face, but you can't think of her name.
Yeah,
but it was so stupid how they took a piece of actual history.
Rosa Parks, Clue Channel says.
The Rosa Parks episode. That was so stupid. I mean, and they cram all of this into 1 hour. That was really my major complaint with New Who. I'm so used to it being like the 30-minute episodes, like the old Doctors were, and you got a full story.
Yeah.
And
the Clue Channel says UK people can't stand the New Who.
Americans can't either. So
yeah. I know, it's like, I don't know if she has yet, because we haven't bothered to keep up. But I know they're getting a new Who, so I don't know if she's regenerated yet to this new fellow.
Yeah,
but hopefully he's better.
Well, no, it got even worse.
It got worse. Okay.
Yeah. She regenerated into what was his name? The Matt. She regenerated into one of the earlier Doctors.
Oh, Matt Smith?
No. David Tennant.
Oh, David
for a couple episodes, yeah.
Yeah, and then from David Tennant, he split off. This black gay guy that's playing him now split off from Tennant. So what they're trying to say is they're still the old Who, but then you've got the new Who here, and nobody's watching it.
No,
from my understanding.
I actually follow a number of YouTube channels that just folks in the UK that one guy talking about how he keeps getting nasty grams from public television saying he needs to pay for his license, and he keeps saying, I'm not going to, I refuse, and a lot of people are doing the effective look. I just realized there's probably a lot of folks here in the US that don't realize this. here in the U.S. we have public television, and if you grew up watching public television, you know that a couple times a year they would have these call-in campaigns asking people to pledge. Basically looking for, because they receive federal funds for public television, but not enough to pay for the licensing and stuff for a lot of the shows that they want to carry. They're not really self-sufficient, so they look to people. And like, for example, when I was in high school, me and a bunch of friends in high school would go and volunteer specifically during on the pledge night during Doctor Who. And we go in our scarves and our hats and celery stalk and everything, and answer phones on television, and people would be calling in saying, I'm specifically pledging because I want to see Doctor Who and so forth. And but that's not how it works in the UK. In the UK, their public television is, imagine if ABC, NBC, and CBS were all, public television. It should technically, I guess, if they were going to do it that way, you'd think it would come out of their taxes, but it doesn't. They have this whole separate licensing fee that you have to pay because they assume you're watching television. And people were arguing for a long time, well, wait a minute, I don't watch TV. I really don't watch TV anymore. Why am I paying for this license? I refuse to pay for it anymore. And it's not like cable where they can just shut it off. It's TV over the air. They can't really do anything about it. So very recently, within the past couple of years, Parliament said, okay, it's no longer mandatory. BBC, you have got to convince people to pay for it. And if they don't, they don't. And that's kind of on you. And BBC is now suddenly realizing what Disney is realizing, and so many of the other entertainment industry companies, that, hey, if you don't put out a product that people want, they don't want to pay for it. And you're going to go broke.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nate said that she generated David Tennant. David Tennant became the black gay guy. Beyond that, the stories aren't written well, and it plays like non-fan fiction. Yeah. And then, wrong one. Clue Channel. You should have Critical Drinker. Why are you mentioning him? Because now I'm interested because we watch his channel. So I missed something, apparently something in the chat, or maybe something we said. So if you can enlighten me in why you say the Critical Drinker, because he has a fun channel. And
Tim is making a joke. I get that reference. Actually, it's funny you should say that, because I can prove it wasn't me who hijacked WTTW during Doctor Who, because I was at WTTW answering phones during the pledge drive. So
one of our first dates was on a pledge drive, but I don't remember what series they were showing at the time.
I don't either.
But it was actually kind of funny because it's like it was like one of our first dates. So we're at this Channel 11 pledge drive here in Illinois. WTTW is the public access channel. And so they have us answering the phones, Troy sitting next to me. And the way that it's set up is like you are on, I guess, on the second tier. So there's two tiers of people going all the way around the studio answering phones. So it looks good on television. Look, we've got this group down here on this first level, and then right above them is the next level. So like I said, it looks really nice for television. So it's not just like one level of people answering phones. It's more visually appealing. So I'm sitting next to him, and we're actually kind of more on the side, not like where the host is standing to, talk about whatever it is that they want the pledge drive for and what's upcoming and all that sort of thing. We're to the left of her. So we're not even on camera. So at one point I took a call and I was trying to write down the details, and I forgot to put my phone on off while I was writing the stuff down. I didn't want to forget what I was just told. So I asked Troy, you just finished your call. Can you grab this one for me really quick? I need to finish writing this down. So he took the call for me. got all the details and all that. I finished what I was doing. He hung up the phone. I leaned over and kissed him on the cheek. Didn't think anything of it until somebody started. I can't remember, somebody next to me started laughing. And I turned, I said, "Why are you laughing?" And they're like, "Oh, you were just caught on camera kissing Troy on the cheek." And apparently, now we had recorded this. So, this is when VHSs were a thing. So I had set the thing to record. And what had happened was they're like, "Look at all these great volunteers hard at work here." And they panned onto me and Troy just as I leaned over and gave him a kiss. So that started the guy next to me laughing. And then from there, somebody else was going, "Wait, why are you laughing?" And they told us, so, Nanette just kissed Troy on the cheek, or Netter kissed Troy on the cheek. And then that person started laughing. And then they were going, like this wave all the way down our row, then all down the bottom row and across the studio. Everybody just cracked, because you'd hear them go like listen, and then start laughing, and then tell the next person, that one would start laughing, telling the next person. It's just too funny. So and you can see all this.
Two things here. Clue said that because I'd mentioned listening to YouTubers in the UK, he brought up Critical Drinker. Yeah, we listen to Critical Drinker, absolutely. And Jesse said, Troy, from what I've heard, the British television station filmed over their first recorded live recording of the Beatles with Doctor Who. I'm not entirely certain that it was specifically Doctor Who. The connection, there was a lot of not only that Top of the Pops with the Beatles, but Doctor Who and some other, a lot of shows were re-recorded over, because at the time, the way the licensing went, it was, they would show an episode usually only once, sometimes twice, as a rerun to fill something in, and then they weren't licensed to re-show the episode again. So they had no cause to keep it. And back then, the digital tapes, the VTRs, were very, very expensive. So it was more cost effective to record over things.
No, that wasn't digital. That was analog.
You're right. It was analog. I take that back. I'm sorry. But the problem came when they realized that there was call for Doctor Who. And then they realized they could do things like putting out what do you call it, physical media and license and so forth. So they started to look around. How can we reconstruct? Where can we find? So they started looking to overseas, the U.S., Canada, other countries in the British colonies. And ask, if you have any episodes of Doctor Who, please send them back. Even so far as to, if you have recorded it yourself and you think it's a decent copy and you're willing to share, please send it back to.
We won't. You won't be in any trouble for copying.
Yeah, they said we are not. There is no copyright issue here. Please help us. What they did get. Because keep in mind, it wasn't until the late 70s that VCRs started to get popular. So what people sometimes did was made audio recordings. In fact, a number of fans did. And so to this day, 100% of the audio of original Doctor Who episodes exist. Those were sent back to the BBC, redigitized, and then released on CDs. And it is those audio tracks that are now being used in some cases with new animation to re-release those episodes that have been lost. Anyway, long story short, that segment of Top of the Pops that the Beatles appeared on, although the entire episode is lost, a segment of it still exists because it was clipped and used on an episode of Doctor Who. Doctor Who is checking the computer to see what year they're in, and he pulls up the Beatles on Top of the Pops. And because that Doctor Who episode still exists, that clip still exists. That's the connection between those two. So long story, but I like that history. I wanted to share it with you guys.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, now I was like you. I was a like both of y'all. I was a public television fan, especially high school. You
Sure.
know, I discovered Masterpiece Theater. They were running I Claudius at the time.
Oh yeah.
So you got to see blood, you got to see nudity.
Yes, that's right.
And from Masterpiece Theater, it went into Monty Python's Flying Circus. Once I figured out Monty Python, I was addicted.
Yep.
Okay, British comedy fan,
Yeah.
big time. And something Yvette and I have been doing on Sundays. We do a stream. The way it started was pitch a movie, a science fiction movie, and so one Sunday it was American. I mean, well, it was one Sunday it was horror, and then the next Sunday it was science fiction, and we had fun with that, and a lot of people seemed to like what I came up with, which knew a decent addition to the Terminator series. That Genesis and the one I refer to as I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, throw them away.
Yeah.
And you start after the one with Christian Bale. It's like 20 years later, and he has a daughter named Sarah Connor after her grandmother. And I, came up with the idea even further. You have an AI that Sarah interacts with, and it has her grandmother's voice and emotional responses. So you could just carry on that. If you wanted a female character, a female hero, that would have been the environment to put her in. That machine war is still going on, is grinding to a halt, and it's like the final kill. And Sarah and the AI save the day after you go through how, she's, you just don't make her a Mary Sue. She's smart. She's the computer whiz. She's got the commando training, and she doesn't get along with dad for some reason or another. And yeah, you could have done that. And they seem, people seem to like that. So we did the sci-fi one week, the horror the next. Then we got into like move 10 movies we like, 10 movies we hate. Favorite British movies, favorite American, sci-fi and horror, different lists. And then just to go absolutely nuts, one week it was our essentials. And the setup was you parachuted onto an island out in the middle of the Pacific and got a house there. It's a nice modern home, okay, with electricity, all that. You don't have to worry about food. If you get sick, they'll rescue you, but you're there on this island by yourself. But in one room, you've got the kick-ass home theater system and a big crate in the middle of the floor, stamped on the crate, essentials. What's in the crate? And so and so we just listed all the movies, TV shows that we considered essential. And frankly, I ended up freaking her out since she's British. Just about all the comedies were British comedies. All of the Monty Python,
Sure.
Allo, Allo, Are You Being Served? That really shocked her. I
Yeah.
was a fan of Are You Being Served? And so we've done that, and we've talked about cryptids, and we did 3 weeks on just paranormal stuff. And now this Sunday it'll be science fact versus science fiction in movies.
Mhm.
So we're looking at some of the movies we've shown on Saturdays, like The Martian, Stargate, like movie, and like a one we haven't seen. She wants to discuss is Interstellar. Because she's a physicist, so she understands all of this stuff. Like she was explaining to me during Stargate, that the present theory is that is how we are going to explore the universe. If in fact we're ever able to, it would be through something like a Stargate. Ships going at warp speed and all of that good. It's not going to work. So it'll be creating a wormhole from point A to wherever we want to go, and then back.
Yeah.
And
So I wanted to ask. Well, I told you I was going to ask you this because we were talking about this back in the backdrop.
Mhm.
So tell our listeners the story of where the Groovy Movies came from.
Oh, okay. Back in the early days of cable, USA Network, they had they had a late night guy, Commander USA, was on the USA cable network, like Saturday nights, late night, and I think sometime then he did some Saturday morning stuff as well, and it was the old B movies like you'll see on my channel.
Yeah.
And in the Universal monsters as well. Sometimes he would show them. He was basically USA Network's version of Svengoolie. I'm sure everybody knows who Svengoolie is by now. If not,
Now that he's gone national, yeah, he was a local boy for a long time, but then he got picked up on
Me TV.
Me TV, yeah, and now he's all over the place.
That's where when Me TV finally came to Dallas, that's where I first saw him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, a creature feature? Oh, you know how long it's been since I've seen a creature feature,
Yeah.
Those were the deals when I was a kid. Friday night, channel 39. They had this guy. He was dressed almost like Mario from that, and he had a gorilla, and they did those movies,
Yeah.
late night, and then channel 11 Saturdays around 3-ish or so. They had this guy Icky Twerp.
Icky Twerp. Okay.
Yeah. And he also did like an early morning thing. He was the guy. He introduced the Three Stooges, as I understand it, to television. So, and in fact, he was. What was that movie they did? One of the first movies they did after they had started their comeback with Curly Joe. there's film of him meeting them at the airport. They, when the film premiered here in Dallas. I was probably too little to go at the time. So, but he would he did this feature show on Saturdays on Channel 11, and like through the week, Monday through Friday, we could watch him. He would do like Popeye and Three Stooges before we went to school. We could catch a little bit of Slam Bang Theater. Then we had to head out the door, walk up the block to school. And then the thing was, when we got home, there was usually him doing another little 30-minute show for kids. Same thing, and then the goof, the groovy movies, as I began to call them. So that's basically how I got the name. It was that Commander USA Groovy Movies always stuck with me for some reason. And so
I appreciate that story so much, because I think a lot of people here know that a lot of the elements of Last Call came from a radio show that I grew up with on WLS AM talk radio here in Chicago. Every Friday, they had it was the Ro Khan show, and it was just regular political talk show and whatnot. And it started getting Fridays. It was a little bit more relaxed. They talk less, politics and news, and a little bit more pop culture and stuff like that. But Friday nights, Friday evenings, starting at 5:00 for the drive home, they'd roll out the Knarble wagon, and it was a bar cart that they had in the studio, and they would talk about what drinks they were going to be having, and the weather guy, Jim Johnson, was the one that started the whole brown mumbler thing here in Chicago, because he was originally from Wisconsin. So he, 9 times out of 10, he would be having a brown mumbler. They'd always start out the show with, another brutal, brutal week. Let's roll out the Knarble wagon. They had like a theme song that they'd start out with and whatnot. And so I get that whole idea of wanting to kind of, in fact, the show even ended with the Arlie Ermy, "Good night, ladies." Good night, sir. Hit it, sweetheart. Which is why I've incorporated that into my my closing credits and whatnot. So the only difference is after the Arlie Ermy clip, they would go directly into this is WLS Talk Radio Chicago, da-da-da, and this, and that, and the other, blah-da-da-da, and then they go into commercial. And I'm like, nah, I need to have something for closing credits. So I get exactly what you're talking about. It's like a way of kind of keeping alive this little bit of, entertainment memory from our childhood, In fact, I'm going to have to suggest to Geeky Geezer, to Aged Boomer, that on Geeky Geezers we need to do a good old days specifically about the creature features and Svengoolie, because before most of you all knew who Svengoolie was, I knew him going back to the 70s. Actually, I knew Svengoolie before he was Rich Coase, before he was the son of Svengoolie. Back when it was still creature features, it was Jerry G. Bishop. And I remember that back in the 70s. So yeah.
Well, but now there's a creature features on YouTube. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I just saw it as I was looking up something else. So I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, they kind of do, if I could, something like that, the British accent, the butler that doesn't give a damn.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, and a quick question Curtis Selby, I saw in the chat,
Uh-huh.
had for me. What is the best movie, in your opinion, on your channel? I don't think I played it yet, to be honest. But
Uh,
you can probably try April Morning. I like to. I like, since I found that, I like to play it every 4th of July.
nice.
It's a retelling of Lexington and Concord.
Good. Good. Good.
So you get an idea of where the shot heard round the world was fired.
Yeah. See, what's interesting about that is I think a lot of people, and I last Friday I did this. I said most people don't even realize what prompted the American Revolution. You ask most people, and they'll say, "Oh, no taxation without representation." No, that's
No.
not really what it was. That certainly did set the stage for it. It's what caused there to be unrest in the colonies, but that's not what directly led to the revolution. It was the British troops coming to take our muskets from us. It was literally, that's why the 2A exists. It's because of the actual reason that the revolution started. That's why the shot was heard around the world, because it was about guns.
Exactly, because I don't know how many people know this, but there is a journal of a British officer.
Yep, I've read it.
When he came here, he was shocked. Everywhere he looked, he saw somebody with a musket strapped to him. Guy working out in the field, he had a musket on him. His wife bringing him water. She had at least a musket, or at least a pistol, or a sword or something. It scared them just how heavily armed Americans were.
Because if you think about it was
they had to,
between, yes, the Indians too, but I mean, if you think about it, all of the colonies at that time were in the wilderness.
Right.
You were dealing with bears and wildcats and wolves, like on a regular basis. And yes, you're right, the natives as well. Anybody who lives in the cities today, who knows that occasionally you will still see bears and mountain lions come into the city. Well, guess what? It was way, way worse in Philadelphia and New York and all the other settlements in the 13 colonies.
Yeah, especially when it got lean out in the wooded areas, and they could smell all the food and from the trash that we would, that they would throw away. That by itself would draw them in.
And what people don't realize is how common it was to literally be walking down the street and hear a gunshot, and immediately thereafter you'd hear, "Wolf, I got it," or "Wolf, it ran off," "Bear, I think I scared it," something like that.
Yeah.
And they said that not just to say you're not in danger because some goofball is firing off a weapon, but also specifically what they should be aware of and paying attention to.
Exactly.
If that bear goes running off, keep your eye open in case it comes back.
Yeah. Exactly. Plus, just for safety reasons, before they went into pubs, you had to discharge your weapon.
Right.
Oh, that makes sense.
That was you got to remember, if you had a muzzle loader, it wasn't like revolvers and semi-automatics today, where you could put on a safety. If you had that locked and loaded, the only way to unload it was to fire it.
Right. In fact, the night before Lexington Concord, or a couple of nights before or something, British soldiers that were in a certain area, they heard a lot of musket fire. It was,
Yeah.
and what it was the militiamen meeting up at a local tavern.
Oh,
What
yeah,
they did,
exactly.
they would discharge their weapons, and they
Before they
thought,
would enter the
yeah,
pub, sure.
We're going to get our drunk on. Boom, 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 boom.
yeah, that, and I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. They are very, very. I mean,
Oh, what, a front-loading musket? Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
you know, you don't want to mess around with one of those things. I mean,
No, in fact, if you don't know what you're doing when you're loading it, you could blow your hand
yeah,
off.
just that alone. But I mean, talk about hair triggers.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah, the old joke you used to see in the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner cartoon where the guy would have the blunderbuss and he'd drop it on its stock and it would go off. Yeah, that really happened. Now, a lot of people think that would happen with, a modern rifle. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You don't drop your handgun down the stairs and it goes off or something like it. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin's.
Yeah,
exactly. You can't do an Alec Baldwin with that.
Exactly.
Sashi says that's why all us Asians are martial artists. We didn't have access to guns.
That's not even really a joke.
Right.
Because especially when you look at what and nowadays so much has been so corrupted by, martial arts movies, ninjas and so on and so forth. But if you look at what most of those weapons were, they were the tools of farmers, right? The kama and even the what do you call it? The nunchaku were a threshing tool for beating up rice to remove the husk and stuff. But yeah, a lot of those weapons were improvised weapons, and they created fighting styles around them. You could go back and look at books that were written during the Victorian era. There are instruction in martial instructional manuals for how to use a cane and or an umbrella for self-defense for both men and women. So you
so like watching episode of the original Avengers with Emma Peel and John Steed.
Oh yeah, exactly.
DJ Play Night says the Sig Sauer P320 is not drop safe. So
good point. Yes, you are correct about that. I was talking in generalities, but there are exceptions. You are correct. You are very correct about that. I mean, that's like I make the joke about cars in the 70s in movies would always blow up if you so much as had a fender bender. But then again, you got the Pinto where it actually would. So
it was all based on the Pintos. But yeah. Oh boy. So
actually I want to bring it back around to the Groovy Movies. Because I don't think we've talked about this. If we have, forgive me. Do you remember what was the very first movie that you shared with your audience?
Oh, first one. Ooh.
And why did you select that one?
I can't remember what the first one was I posted.
Huh?
Oh man, that was it had to I have no idea. Oh, was it a
I stumped him.
Yeah, you did. I've got like 700 movies on there now. So, oh boy, I can't. It had to be. I can't remember.
That's okay.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair.
That was a while back. I mean, I'm constantly looking. I've got 2 external hard drives. One a 1 terabyte and a 5 terabyte. The 1 terabyte is full. The 5 is getting there, and I just go through them at times to see what I have, and I found a crap ton of film noirs I forgot I had, and so what I've been doing every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, MrLondell's Wednesday Night Noir.
Wow.
I love, as I got older, I got into the noir movies.
Sure.
Bogart, you know.
Now, have you ever seen Trouble Is My Business?
Oh yeah.
That's one of them I've got. I haven't shown it yet. I have what I've shown is I've only done like 3 or 4 so far. So it's been I can what was a couple of Bogart movies, Desperate Hours and Deadline USA, This Gun for Hire. Yeah, that's out. Yeah, that's the ones I've done so far.
Oh.
And yesterday was The Lady from Shanghai. Orson Welles, Rita Hayworth. Okay, Orson produced, directed, and starred in the movie. That shows how, his that shows where his talent level was when he was in his prime. So there'll be more to come. I'm thinking next week, probably probably a Cagney movie next week. I wish I had.
Nice.
I wish I had White Heat. I don't have that one. I gotta find it now. So
I know there's a lot of bogey movies that are black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, better yet, probably I think what I'll do this next Wednesday will probably be Double Indemnity.
Ooh, good movie.
That's one I've really come to like. I'm so used to Fred McMurray and My Three Sons.
Oh yeah.
But you watch him in these noirs, he was a scumbag. every film noir he did, he's a scumbag in Double Indemnity. I mean, it's shocking. And then I'll turn on MeTV and it'll be an episode of My Three Sons, and then I've got to kind of settle between the two after watching him play this slime bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Troy makes fun of me because like we'll be watching something and there's an actor that usually plays a really nice guy, and then he's starting to play real scumball or something, and it's just like, okay, I don't want to watch him anymore. So he'll laugh at me. It's like you realize it's just a role. It's like, yes, but he's playing it way too convincingly.
Yeah, and I mean that can really turn you off with with an actor. I finally got accustomed to Bogart. I was his early stuff. He was the thug, the gangster.
Yeah.
And then some kind of way, I guess it was Casablanca that turned him into the could be the nice guy. And you see him in Deadline USA. He's playing a total nice guy. Just he's kind of a bleeding heart liberal type.
Yeah.
Running the newspaper. So and then Desperate Hours, he's playing that escaped convict, that pistol whips a guy in his house. I mean?
Yeah.
So and and I've gotten into how, especially with Bogart, he could get you on that roller coaster, especially when he played a bad guy.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm like, I understand why. One time, uh, it was a local radio guy here I was talking with, and we got into movies, and I was bringing up people like Bogart, Edward G. Robinson, Cagney, and first, the one thing he asked me about Bogart, is he the definition of cool? I had to agree with it. That that was early definition of cool was Bogart.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up with Bogart and Ingrid Bergman and all those. Tim Troy says, I mean, Troy has an Troy. Tim has an idea. I'm reading Tim, trying to say Troy. So Tim has a thing for Troy. Idea for February watch party, Miracle and the 1981 movie Miracle on Ice, both about the Miracle on Ice.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Do you believe in miracles?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I remember that.
Oh my goodness, this hour's flown by.
Yeah, it has.
Okay. I know that right after this, Deleted Scenes is doing his weekend update. If you stay right here, you will be redirected to his channel for his weekend update.
Automatically.
Yes, automatically. So let's see. We started off at 650 subscribers. We're currently at 655 subscribers. So thank you for those who subbed. And if there's anyone who hasn't subbed yet, please, would you mind right-clicking on that link at the top of the chat and giving a sub? And if you think you're subbed, can you go back and double-check you're still subbed? Because YouTube.
And make sure to hit that notification bell, because you want to see when one of his movies goes live so that you know, hey, free movie that I haven't seen probably because it's older and I maybe didn't know about it. So check it out.
Exactly. Plus, it's like some of the movies that I have enjoyed the most are ones I've never seen before. And it's just kind of like, oh, this is really cool. And then I usually end up adding them to our library.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how a lot of noirs caught me. I had never seen them before.
I just realized Age Boomers is in the chat or was in the chat. Hi, Boomer.
Well, if you are still here, Boomer, you may or may not have heard. I was suggesting we do a what do you call it? Good old days about creature features and Svengoolie specifically. So we should do that.
Features. I used to love creature features.
Yep.
Yeah, you should check out the recent.
I will that YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm going to check that out for sure.
Kurt Selby says, I need to learn how to do this so I can redirect. As long as you've got over 1,000 subscribers, you can do the redirect. It's really easy. While you're in YouTube, you know how you go to edit a video under customization, you just need to scroll down a little bit and it'll say redirect. So you click on that and then you can either search for the channel and then the specific video, or if you just want to go there to the person's channel and get the link just directly, grab that and just drop it into the search bar.
I'll tell you what,
it'll
buddy,
tell you redirect to that particular one.
Once we get you over that 1,000 subscriber mark, I'll go through it all with you again. Yeah,
you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers before you can do the redirect. So if you don't have that, you're not going to see it on your YouTube. I like DJ Play Nice says, Netter, way to utilize the redirect.
Yes,
exactly. It's new to me, but it's fun.
We just realized it was an option for us, so we're gonna make use.
How about Break In and Break Into Electric Boogaloo? We actually did.
We actually did that one a couple months ago.
Since yes, they've done those.
Yes,
I figured. Okay, what do we have coming up? Mr. Londell, what do you have coming up on your groovy movies?
Okay, Thursday I have a just a regular premiere of let me see, Prince of Foxes. It's a swashbuckler with Cornel Wilde.
Nice.
And then Saturday for my Cinema Saturday, 3 p.m. Central Time is The Devil's Reign.
Cool.
Mm.
It's starring William Shatner and Ernest Borgnine.
Cool.
And Sunday, we have our Sunday talk, science fact versus science fiction, or when will the two ever meet?
Interesting.
That'll be a live discussion between Yvette and myself, discussing what's possible in what we see in sci-fi movies that's possible, and what's just like, utter bollocks.
Right.
So
It's funny. I'm not used to someone that doesn't have a British accent saying bollocks.
Bollocks. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Well, I picked up the word from her, so.
Well, it's funny. It's like if I do have anyone on my channel that has an English accent, my accent will start coming out like that now.
Yep.
And usually just to my grandfather's Scottish, because my mother's from England. She's a Lancashire lassie, so she's English. My grandmother was Welsh. My grandfather's Scottish, and a wee bit of Irish along the way. So accents will come out every once in a while.
Fair enough.
Okay, so that's us going on for you. Troy, what's coming up for you? If you want to just go through the rest of the week for both of us.
Absolutely. So, of course, we're going to be going and listening, as should all of you, in just a few minutes over to Deleted Scenes to find out what he's got going on for the rest of the week, for the weekend update. But then tomorrow night, I will be, as usual, joined by Netter and Aged Boomer for Last Call at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. We're going to, maybe let off a little bit of steam about this, the preponderance of entertainment outlets that seem to want to try to scapegoat the fans. It's all your fault that our stuff sucks. And we're going to talk about that and drink and maybe even rant a little bit. So that'll be tomorrow night, starting at 9 Central on my channel. Saturday, we're going to be, let me think. This is Big Al's week. Yes, Big Al's retro. You're retro cinema. He is Films with Friends over on Big Al's channel. We will be watching the classic horror musical Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis.
The musical.
Yes. That's Saturday night. Then Sunday, of course, is all Deleted all the time with 3 Central is Western Cinema Presents. And then I believe it's 7 Central, 8 Eastern is his unscripted. 8 Central, 9 Eastern is Geeky Geezers on Age of Boomers channel. A lot of speaking of entertainment industry kind of blaming the fans, we're going to have a couple to talk about, a couple of gaming companies that may not be around much longer if things don't change seriously for them. But we'll be talking about a bunch of other stuff too. That is Geeky Geezers. And then, of course, we'll wind out the weekend with Deleted Scenes on the other side of midnight. That's the other side of midnight, East Coast, a little bit past 11 here Central Time. Monday night at the movies, very special one this week.
What do we have coming up?
We have a Terminator twofer. It's Terminator and Terminator 2 with special guest Sin's Corner. Although she'll be running a little late. We're going to start Terminator without her because she is going to be at the Regal seeing whatever the Regal mystery movie is that she will be reviewing with Deleted Scenes the following day on Tuesday. But then speaking of Tuesday, Tuesday afternoon, so that's like I believe that's like 4:30 Central Time, 5:30 Eastern. I will be joining Pops on his channel for Talk Hard. We will be talking about Terminator. That's why we had to do the Terminator 2 for the night before. And yeah, and then after that, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern over on Deleted Scenes channel will be live from Sparkwood and 21 episode or part 11 of Twin Peaks The Return, which I suppose brings us then around to next Thursday. Who's your guest next week, Netter of Netter?
My next guest will be a first timer to be a guest here on Thursday Things, Raquel SSG 2211. So she was in the chat a couple of weeks ago. We started chatting, and so she is going to be on my channel. She has some original music on her channel. It's AI generated, but it's really beautiful.
Yep.
So we're going to be talking about her channel and getting to know her a little bit better. But yeah, in the meantime, if you want to go check her out, you most certainly can. As soon as my art director gives me the thumbnail, I will put up the stream for that, so you can go check her out.
I don't even have the Terminator 2 for up yet.
Well, I'm just saying, my art director, needs to take care of this. So.
Working on it.
Yeah. So that, I think, is everything. So any final words, Mr. Londell?
Watch some good movies. Watch some bad movies. Watch a couple of groovy movies. Enjoy life. They're great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Troy, any final words?
No, just want to thank everybody who came and hung out with us. Your eyes on the videos really do make a huge difference. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, especially to our guest, Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies. Hit those notification bells. And thank you guys so much for all your encouragement.
And of course, y'all know what I always say. Please make sure that you are subbed to every member of the panel as well as every member of the chat. And if you think you're subbed, please go back and double check if you're still subbed. And if any of you haven't subbed yet to our special guests, please go over there and hit that little sub. So it costs you nothing to do the sub, but it's immeasurable in what it means to our channel. So thank you all for doing that. Thank you for supporting us in all these different ways that you do. I know, like for Troy's channel, because he's monetized, you send super chats, super stickers, you buy us drinks, all of those bits of support.
Keep me drunk.
Yeah. Besides the watch hours and the subscribers, help us to improve our channels, because I every time he gets those super chats, whatever, it goes right back into getting better lighting, which I still need to buy the lighting, but so we get better lighting for our studios. And we just bought a mixer, so that was made possible by you guys. And now we need to get decent microphones and that sort of thing. So it's all for you. We want to make our streams so much better for you, because we want you to keep coming back and having a good time. And with that said, we can talk amongst yourselves.
Yes, we can. We can do that too.
We can talk amongst ourselves. And that's all well good and fun. But it is so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. Hey, Sashi. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room. We're enjoying each other's company. We're having a great time. And you want to pass the popcorn? Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
And you guys, you're not just our friends. You are our family. And I said that at the beginning of the stream too. It's like, I love seeing you guys in each of our streams. I love seeing your faces here, or your avatars. And every time I see you guys, it makes me smile because my family's here. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our family. Thank you for encouraging us so very much and supporting us in all the different ways that you do. And until next time, good night and God.